It all started when Virginie and I secretly put the first boat built to sail after the Senegambian invasion. All of a sudden, a gigantic funnel storm picked us from the sea. When we opened our eyes again, we found ourselves stranded in a desert with red jagged rocky mountains afar, and we saw a big green monster flap towards a chieftain in the middle of the desert. The tall old man bellowed with a rustic accent,
"Hey, you. Don't stand around, run. Run for your life."
The monster kept on flying. Suddenly it turned around and said gently,
"Mr. Not Milker, I have much better things to tend to than to scare these little folks."
Upon finishing the sentence, it continued on its course. "Who's he?" I asked the old man timidly.
"He is Alzador, genetically altered lizard Mach 2317. Our scientists created his parents out of a flying lizard and my brain tissues."
I asked again, "Where are we?" "We are from the seashores of Toronto. A storm just blew us here."
"It's Houston, the great capital of the southern state. I am James Not Milker, the last president of this land. Hey, you. Salute and pay homage to your president."
"Sorry, Mr. President. We pay homage to nobody but God. By the way, what has happened here? Where are your people and all the buildings?"
"Don't you know we were flattened by the asteroid storm and the Senegambian? People are now almost all gone. I haven't seen anyone for quite a while. Come with me to see the soldiers of the Overlord."
And after an hours-long journey, we arrived at a settlement. The soldiers turned out to be the Trogonians. The green extraterrestrials form the galaxy RD-12C. We were led to house of the military governor.
"Where did you two come from? Do you not know Vosagon is a restricted zone for your people?"
As I tried to explain, he telepathed me coldly.
"Quiet. I can see through your mind. There was a storm and you're dumped here from the Toronto Sea. What luck."
"Well,
"What shall I do with you? You know, I will set you free. For such good luck, you may look around here with the old man."
"We thank you sincerely, your lordship, but we just want to go back home. Can you be so kind as to help us?" The governor spoke with a monotonous voice.
"You are a punished people. We, the guardians of the earth, are not even supposed to talk to you. Go away before I change my mind. You'll see home, if it's the will of God."
We quietly left the Trogonian settlement with the president. After walking for half a day in the desert land, a beautiful cool and green forest popped up right before us. In the middle of the trail, we ran into a big black crow. Sitting on a fallen trunk, the crow croaked loudly.
"Be careful, Jim. The spider is about to get you."
After the president fended off the hungry spider, the crow asked,
"These two are new here. Where are they going?"
He replied,
"I don't know. They just dropped in from the Toronto Sea."
Then, he asked Virginie and me,
"Where are you going?"
"We would like to go back home. Can you help us, Mr. Crow?"
Ginny said sadly. The bird replied proudly,
"I'm not Mr. Crow. My name is Yaya the 11th of
Yacht, can you help us then?"
course. Just my great-great-great-grandfather would."
Virginie asked with a big relief.
"Thank you very much. What should we do now?"
"Has Jim take you up to the river Hootalakai? Alzador the dragon might fly you home, Ya."
Ya answered briefly, and flied away. After pleading to Jim for a while, he finally agreed.
"Well, since I have no official affairs to attend to today, I think I can spare some time to take you there."
Then, we left the forest and reached a plain. Along the way, we passed by several lovely meadows filled with lots of pretty flowers, small animals, and smart-looking birds. We then passed a big pond at the edge of a wood. There are many waterfalls, like swans, geese, ducks, and seagulls, Jim said nervously.
We are close to the river. Be careful from now on. There are dangers ahead.
From the vegetable garden, a cow with a copper bill raised its right front leg and saluted us.
Hail to Mr. President. Do you still not want to live with us?
A Trogonian yelled.
Humans, stay away. Unit NR-22, take the cows back to the stalls.
Jim hurried us away and told us the
Cows were genetically manufactured with human genes by our scientists. Now the Trogonians keep the new species alive for their own use. The human attendant is just a robot.
Later we passed by an army base. A legion of robots was practicing drills there. A sentry checked our minds up and let us continue our trip, but he warned,
after this point you're leaving the protected zone. You will be on your own. Good luck. May God be with you.
Along the way, we saw an ancient white building. There are some androids and robots standing guard. Jim said,
Boy, don't you know? I used to live in that house 75 years ago.
Surprised, Virginie asked,
How old were you back then?
Then 8, 1 or 2 or 3. I really cannot remember.
You don't look your age.
Trogonians have real good doctors.
Hey, went they soon, we spotted the river. It was below the cliff. There are many creatures, some huge killer bees attacking lizards and chasing away animals. Jim remarked,
These are nothing. The soldiers keep the really bad boys not too far away.
Then we came to a beautiful creek. The water was crystal clear and filled with many creatures. A large crocodile was basking in the grass and a tiny dinosaur was perching on a rock. Dinosaurs were reintroduced to the earth by the Trogonians. All of a sudden, a raptor sprang up from behind the river bank and chased the croc, which was its only interest. So, we luckily escaped to be its snacks. Very soon, we arrived at the riverfront. Again there were killer bees. A swarm of them was shadowing a white dove. The dove was not too concerned and kept flying leisurely, but there was also a Trogonian airship in the skies. We heard some loud noises, so we got up on some rocks to see what was going on and saw two mutant humans fought over a very pretty female robot. Jim immediately pulled us back, saying edgily,
Go, these cannibals will get me someday.
To search Al Zagor, we ventured to the riverfront again. It was beginning to get dark, so we were surprised when a green rock suddenly popped up and spoke with an animal accent.
Hello there, where did you come from? There are almost none of you humans out.
Here we're looking for Al Zagor. Do you know where he is? I asked.
He just left, but he might come back to our monthly gathering the next few days.
Disappointed, Virginie asked unhappily.
Is there a place for us to wait for him?
Well, you might stay with me, though I am not sure if the others would not grab and eat you. We've never tasted a genuine human before. Anyway, you'll be safe from the other marauding creatures. We
followed the good-natured dinosaur to a sheltered marsh. Many dinosaurs and some other animals came to rest there for the night. We were quite lucky as no big raptors were there. Next morning, all the dinosaurs took off. When we moved along a creek to find something to eat, we ran into the battle between two tribes of mutants. The battle was fierce and many of them got killed. We did not stay to find out who won. After a while, a huge mushroom cloud appeared over the horizon and was rushing towards us. As we dashed around to find shelter, it came above us and covered the whole sky. Big raindrops came with deafening thunderbolts. The typical flash flood washed out many unlucky animals who did not find shelters in time. We found a cavern and went inside. Seeing many skeletons and wagons, I asked Jim, is it a tomb or a prison of your ancestors?
Nah, it was a war shelter. I myself lived in one of these and killed some jerks way back then.
Why? Were you also a cannibal?
Virginie asked shyly.
Why ask, stupid? I needed to survive.
We did some exploration and stumbled into an enclosure full of meat-eating animals. In the center, a fearsome boar-like creature was teasing a mutant before tearing him to pieces. Other animals circled them and were watching amusingly. It went without saying. We sneaked out as quickly as possible. When we came up from the ground, the storm was over and the sun shone brightly again. Everywhere were littered with fruits, nuts, dead animals and mutants. We gathered some fruits and nuts for lunch. Later we ate for desserts some puffball mushrooms found in the wood. We continued our exploration. A seagull flew towards us and called out a familiar voice.
Ingenie, Virginia, you are in a great danger. Are you a yacht? Why are we in a great danger? He. I fooled you. I'm just a disciple of a yacht, your little fairy. Be careful, a raptor is hunting you.
We followed the advice of the gull and hid behind a big tree. We spotted a green raptor lurking behind a bush. Suddenly, the scene was disturbed by two bands of mutants, who came and quarreled at the creek. As the mutants quarreled and were about to fight, the dinosaur sprang upon them and angrily said,
I'm BioVale, the greatest and the smartest dinosaur of all. You irritable things are interrupting my hunt of 3 genuine humans. For this mischief, I shall chomp you all to pieces.
After BioVale have eaten the mutants, it sniffed out our presence and rumbled towards us. It appeared that we were doomed. In the nick of time, the gull yelled,
Stop! Go no further. The Overlord has asked us to help these humans. She'll be right here.
As soon as she finished saying that, the world suddenly turned to pitch dark and then illuminated by brilliant flickering lights of stars. We're now all floating in space. From nowhere, the Overlord and her ladies-in-waiting popped out like exploding lights.
BioVale, stop being such a bore. Go back to the work the Trogonians have given you. Don't bother these poor creatures. They have their own destiny by God will.
Then she spoke to us.
Ingenie, Virginia, I have already sent a yacht to find Alzagor. You'll be home soon. Good luck. May God be with you.
Just as suddenly, the Overlord and her ladies-in-waiting disappeared, taking BioVale with them. We got out from our hiding and returned to the river. Later in the afternoon, Alzagor appeared in the sky.
Jim, are you leaving with them? No. Vosagan is my final resting place. Well then, I think I can lift the whole boat to carry them.
So, we went up in the air inside our boat. The sceneries were magnificent from the river back to the Vosagan desert. On the way, we encountered a couple of spaceships taming the local weather. Soon, we're passing by a mountain range. Below us was a farm of gigantic pigs with human heads. Alzagor remarked,
These poor things are the remnants of the Senegonzi creation. You know, Senegonzis raised them for food. Trogonines keep the human pigs alive after they liberated the earth from the Senegonzis.
Before dusk, we reached the shores of Toronto. We were greeted by our animal friends. I had been tired of all those desert dust and heat, so I plunged from the boat to the cool water and swam ashore. Alzagor laughed.
Look, all your folks are out to see you bathe.
On the shore, we're greeted by the whole colony of Toronto. Mom and Pop were there, as well as Ava, my sister. Pop said,
Oh yeah, our little fairy has sent words to us that you'd be back today. We're all glad to see you again, but you should obey the rules to safeguard our village.